Welcome back, everyone, to the alignment. Today we're going to just have a little conversation. Oh, there's a little firework, I don't think.
Because it's the 1st of January and
Yeah.
it's a happy new year, hopefully, for all you guys.
And hopefully this will be a happy new video for those of you
Yeah.
listening.
And those of you who've been with us, well, we're back again in 2026.
Yeah.
Starting fresh on our channel once again.
Yeah, I don't know, what sort of topic should we tackle today?
I think today we should talk a lot more about routines and how stability can play a big role in a person's life, especially when you're committed and you're in a relationship, and how you can balance that with ease. Because some people just dread being committed or consistent with a lot of things, let alone just a relationship. Some of us can't even commit to like a project without letting that go and not even completing it. So I think we should talk about completions because the year completed too. So I think we should talk about that.
Yeah, and I feel like with regards to the sort of the representation of love and relationships, particularly in movies or TV shows, often you'll see the stage of initial early attraction, and the drama of two strangers meeting, and that'll be the whole plot line.
What's that movie we watched recently, Before Sunrise? Yeah. That's the movie we've been watching recently.
Yeah, no, and that's an interesting movie. I mean, it shows two strangers meeting for one day, and then I mean, obviously we won't spoil that, but
you already told them everything about the movie.
But what I was
it's a romantic movie. It's predictable.
Yeah, but like more on the sort of context, like in that movie, we don't see a representation of the way relationships actually work and actually sustaining them. We usually want to sort of have the immediately satisfying and gratifying thing of like you fall in love, but seeing how love is maintained and finds a sort of a stable equilibrium, that's not as dramatic or exciting, perhaps for people.
Yeah.
But
it's not the thrill.
And then when you do see sort of movies about the quote unquote more real relationships, like Marriage Story or something, it'll always be some miserable, depressing story with people separating.
I think both of them are quite unbalanced and untrue. And I don't think it's a real representation of what a healthy relationships look like. But I mean, obviously, everybody has their own relationship in their own kind of way and what's healthy to you. I just think that too much extreme is just unbalanced.
Yeah. So I think in sort of today's video, we can sort of sketch out for people what a sort of consistent form of love looks like, because we've sort of had we're over a year now, and married, and we've sort of gone through that sort of initial exciting phase of getting to know each other and
even in the initial phase, there wasn't like an exciting phase for me. What I mean by that is like, I think then when there's a real love and there's a stable love, this is very important, it feels calm. You know how in movies they romanticize, or you have this drug-like cocaine type addiction or something. That is just your nervous system being very dysregulated, I would say. It's more of like being into what's that thing? When people are temporarily obsessed with each other. What's it called? Infatuation. Yeah. Infatuation. It feels more like infatuation because you're addicted to that feeling of being high, not the person.
Yeah.
You're addicted to yourself feeling that emotion, and you're using that person as a drug, even if you don't know it. It's all unconscious, to
And
be
all
honest.
the idealizations and
Yeah.
projections and
And
stuff.
it's like sometimes we reject love because it doesn't look what it looks like in the movie. Like if he's not kissing me in the rain, dump him. Like
Yeah.
it just doesn't make any sense. So we kind of just come here on the alignment, speak our perspective so you can look at a rational or more like a example of what healthy relationships look like, not just because we've seen movies, but we are aiming to be in one. I wouldn't say that everybody's perfect and this is our perfect relationship. But what I would say is that we try to be, and if this inspires you, let it.
Yeah, and I think, we have to sort of consider where our sort of perspectives and ideas about relationships come from. And like you said, many of them do come from movies and
Yeah.
TV shows, and they subconsciously imprint upon us. And, and even today, our perspectives will come from, various social media content creators and stuff like that. And I guess we are, falling into that sort of category because we are sort of creating a form of content, but
It's more like educational content.
Yeah,
Kind of.
I think there's a lot of content out there that still sort of taps into sort of certain emotional pressure points, which are obviously more engaging online. It's very emotionally intense to create a video like all men are like this, or all women are like this, or
The classic.
watch out for these manipulation tactics, and
No.
putting people into these sort of stress states with regards to approaching relationships, and these states of not being able to trust and stuff.
I just don't believe in the battle of the genders. I don't believe in demonizing one gender or the other. I think that only when you have respect for yourself and the other person, regardless of the gender, I think is when you can ever have a real relationship. Because if you hate men and you want a boyfriend, you're not gonna like your boyfriend very much, are you? Like it just won't work. I think you have to fall in love with yourself and the other person for who they are as a soul. So on the alignment, we speak about things that are a lot more deeper than just a relationship, because it's never just a relationship. It's about your soul, it's about awareness, it's about a higher state of being, and what happens when two people in that higher state of being come together, and what does that look like? That is something we don't get to see on television or read about. All our books are about some kind of fantasy that is devoid of real emotions and healthy love. So we just come here to talk about what that looks like in our lived experience. I think I am strongly more on lived experience. I like giving knowledge from a lived experience place. I'm not like a textbook person. Like I don't read about relationships in a self-help book corner and then come talk about it. I mean, if I haven't felt it, I don't feel like it's something that I can share. But I have lived it. So it's nice, it's healthy, and it's beautiful. And sometimes, the healthiest thing can look really boring, like vegetables, for example. Like it's so healthy, but it looks so boring. But I think if you add your own spice mix to it, your own little mix to it, it can really work for you. I think that's just an example for life, like things that look boring. If you add your own magic to it, your own touch to it, it can become a part of you. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's kind of like what you're talking about is that the most fundamental rules for life in so many different endeavors, such as relationships or even health, those fundamentals are very boringly simple.
Yeah. Simplicity is
and they're so simple to the point that we often have a tendency to trivialize them and be like, oh, it doesn't really matter. Like with health, for instance, the simple foundations of that is, of course, your nutrition. Are you eating simple whole foods? Are you moving around, exercising? Are you, going outside? Are you in nature? Are you getting sunlight? Very simple stuff, but often people want the exotic supplements. They want to sort of, which is fine, it has a place there, but
that's because they're addicted to intensity.
There's that, but there's also like I think there's intensity, but there's also people like a quick, easy solution rather than sort of going to sort of the real root of their sort of behaviors and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think as well in relationships, I don't know, it's a bit different with relationships, of course, because there are no pills you can take to fix your relationship other than perhaps,
they don't exist.
other than perhaps alcohol or Xanax, which some people may do.
I think a healthy example for that would be like a pill that you can take to fix your relationship would be to kiss each other.
Okay.
I know that sounds very kiddish and childish, but sometimes, that's what we lack and that's what the other person lacks. It's just being innocent. I'm on a trail. Yeah, I want to talk about innocence and love and purity. They're all the same thing, actually. We say it in 3 different words, but we're still describing the same energy, the energy that kind of makes everything around you appear to be more beautiful or more felt. I think the number one feeling the world secretly craves is love. Underneath it all, that is something that we just want or are wired to have or to give. Many people are givers, and I think that when you look at it with that lens and you see your partner being upset or angry about something and you just kiss them in the middle of an argument or whatever, and you just give them that token of love, let's say, as a gesture of love, as a gift, it stops them in their tracks and they're like, whoa, what just happened? Like, what is going on? And you'll notice that instantly the argument at least dissipates or lowers down. And I know that's the most difficult thing to do when somebody's screaming at your face and they're telling you all the wrong things you've done to them. But I think simple gestures like that make it a loving environment to be around. I mean, would you want to be in an environment that's not loving? Would anyone? So why not kind of give that thing to the other person? And you obviously get it back because love is reciprocal by default. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. True love. I'm not talking about any other kind of love.
Yeah, and I think with love, we all want to have something to care about.
Yeah.
And also to have someone who cares about us.
Obviously.
Yeah. And I think it's as simple as that. And a lot of people love many different things. They care about so many different, whether it's a football team or a hobby.
Seems personal.
Or they love a particular passion project that they engage with, or they love a pet, or they love a person. Obviously, that they're very different natures to each of those love, but there's a similarity, a universal energy of care where you're putting your attention in something, you're investing your energy, your life force, and your emotional energy. And if you care about something, or particularly if you care about someone, then you wish only for their happiness and you wish only that they succeed in all the various endeavors that they take in life. Love doesn't look like someone wishing ill on a person.
That's not love. That never is.
And it's, it's a tragedy that a lot of people do not feel really truly cared for, you know, and you only have to meditate a little bit on your relationship to a particular person, and you're feeling that you honestly feel like this person truly cares about you, or is capable of caring about you.
I think more than capacity to care, I think everybody even psychopaths, I think at a deeper level have a capacity to care, but they just have a lesser capacity, is what I think. I think humans naturally have a capacity to care, but I would not suggest falling in love with potential. That is something that many of us can get lost into, and it's just a black hole. And I think many people have a lot of capacity for a lot of things and they never reach that. And I think you should learn to meet people where they're at. And that's honesty. So I want to cover a lot more about honesty in love. What I would suggest is really consider if you yourself care about that person truly. And if you don't feel those strong feelings for someone and you're still with them, I would highly suggest being honest with yourself and then being honest with the person that, hey, I don't feel that kind of way about you, and leave. It's difficult. It is so difficult. By no means am I saying like that's easy. It never is, but it still needs to be done. Because if you're working with principles like integrity and honesty, you feel freer, happier, and lighter in life. That's why you use honesty to feel lighter. Because when you're not honest, you're heavy. It's a burden to be around that person. They're a burden to you, you're a burden to them, and it's never going to be real or healthy. So I think if you want a real relationship, you have to get very real with yourself and the other person. Because I know so many people just stay with the person even though they don't feel like they're the one. And I know not everybody has a soulmate or not everybody is the one, but if you know that person is not for you, don't waste their time. Don't waste your time, don't waste their time, because in that time you could probably find the person that is for you and they could find the person that's for them. So why try to work out a complexity that cannot be solved and stay in it for years? And it's like a Rubik's Cube. You're just trying different ways to make it work. It just doesn't work. Maybe that's a cue. Sometimes I think we push too hard in consistency that, it doesn't work right now, but it'll work later. It'll work 2 years later. And it most likely doesn't. For some exceptional cases, it does. But I think that there are many realities, multiple realities, where it is very possible for you to find your match. And I don't mean perfection. I mean somebody that's resonant. I mean somebody that's compatible with your soul, not your personality. Because your personality changes all the time. And so does theirs. So what's really going to hold you both together? What is that? It needs to be something deep like glue, like a foundation that you both fundamentally agree on. It could be religion, it could be spirituality, it could be something deep like principles or loyalty. You need to bond on that scale. And until you are not bonded on that scale, on that intimate molecular cellular level, it will never grow into something long term. And we speak most about long term because that's the goal for our collective, our audience here, that people who watch us, we want them to have something long term and sustainable in an unsustainable world. We want you to have what the world cannot sustain. And that right now is relationships, pejoratively, I think.
Yeah, no, and I think that's a good place to sort of sign off and really hammer in on this sort of point of what we do with this space on the internet. We are delving particularly into these fundamental essences of human relationships, and yes, we speak of them also mostly in a romantic context, but we should say that these relationship, I don't know, teachings or information,
whatever you want to call it,
or
information.
education, they also extend to the relationship that you have with yourself and the relationship that you have with your own feelings, desires, beliefs, integrity, honesty. And people often say that the person that you end up in a relationship will always be a sort of a mirror of yourself. You know, you will meet someone who resonates with a certain energy of yourself.
Either to heal or to match. Sometimes it can be shadow work through a person as well. It doesn't mean that's your forever person, but they're just teaching you parts of yourself that you need to be open to, I think.
But yeah, I think we'll leave that at that.
Yeah.
It's been useful and insightful.
And definitely let us know if any of these pointers or any of these conversations and specifics resonate with you. We would love to know feedback on what you guys are interested in and something else that we can talk about. We're very open to that. And we will see you the next time.
Okay. Goodbye, everyone.